So my name is Lindsay and I work for Nerds and Beyond. It's nice to speak with you today, Tom. So the first thing I wanted to ask was your character Declan. He's really interesting. Um, there's some layers when it comes to his motives and allegiances that come across later in the film. How do you think audiences are going to react to that?
Well, I hope they're surprised. I hope that, because the thing is with Declan as well, he should feel like one of the boys. He should feel like your mate. He should feel like he's there for you, which he is. That is Declan. But then he's dealt this hand which he never expected to have to deal with. He didn't think that when he took these actions that he was actually going to end up having to make an in the moment decision whether to betray his best friend or not. And this is something that he's been planning for a while to get out of the regiment, to get out of the special forces that he's currently worked for and go into the private sector and earn some money for himself. It's something that a lot of soldiers end up doing in the special forces. So it's not that uncommon, but because he has this morality to him, and also one of the biggest core factors of the special forces is the relationships with each other, the friendships that you create, and how you're always there for your fellow man. That is massively tested for him, and that really matters to him. It really does, genuinely does. So it's a struggle for him to get through this.
So did you have to undergo any sort of special tactical training for the role?
Yeah, well, we were taken out to Budapest there, and we did a lot of stuff with Andy McNabb. He put us through all this different kind of training to make sure that we were operating at that kind of level, really. And that was my biggest thing. I said, look, I don't want to do this unless we can do it properly and that we can learn everything we need to learn, because the biggest critics we'd have are people in the military and say, they're like, oh, those not done like that. You don't do it like this. You don't do it like that. So for me, it was very important. And Andy from the get-go was like, I am literally your endless resource. Like, use me as you want. Like, we'll go through everything. And that was one side of it, the tactical side of it. But actually the other side was just being able to talk to Andy non-stop and have this endless conversation about what it's like, and just getting that constantly filtered into your brain of the life of a special forces soldier. That was really important, and how they see each mission, each day at work.
So what did you find was one of the most challenging scenes to film for the movie?
Most challenging, it's, I suppose, one of the great ones. I mean, it was challenging in a lot of respects, but it was also really, really fun. Was the scene where near the beginning when Sam's character Tom and I and the rest of the SAS breach the house, and we go do that big hard arrest in the house, and there was multiple elements to that, and like having to tactically go around the house and shoot it. But one brilliant moment, that what they did with they had it like one of our POV. So me and Sam each got to take turns with the camera and be the POV for each other. So I was actually holding the camera and going around as a cameraman and trying to catch all the action and stuff. And then he'd turn around to me and look at me, and then we do the same thing the other way around, and he'd carry the camera. And that was probably the most fun I've had on the movie, really, because I got to be a cameraman as well as be involved in the action. It was fully, and we do these these big one takes where we go all the way up and do the entire breach. And that was brilliant but then obviously there's lots of technical elements that everyone has to come in at the right time, and someone has to attack you at the right time. So it all flows, so it's one big choreographed piece, which in the end was brilliant, but technically it's the hardest thing to do.
So the last question I have is just a simple one. If you had to describe the film in 3 words for audiences before they see it, what words would you pick?
Oh God, one of these. Action-packed thriller.
Fair enough. Well,
I'm not very good at those. Those ones I'm like, oh God.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. I really enjoyed the movie. Your character was great, and thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Cheers.